What's happening, all you dudes and dudettes? This is Dudes Talking Freedom, back at you once again. This is Luke.
And I'm Jeremy.
And we want to thank you for joining us on the Dudes Talking Freedom podcast. We're brought to you by Warriors for Freedom, a nonprofit that creates pathways to engage service members to help veterans and their families prevent suicide, foster camaraderie, and help them live their best lives. Check them out at warriorsforfreedom.org. All right, folks, we have Dr. Jonathan Lopez joining us today, a U.S. Marine upcoming participant on Conquering Kili, the host of Rad Dad Podcast, and many other accomplishments. But as usual, we'll be talking freedom and whatever else we want to talk about. So let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah, sounds good.
Sweet.
Welcome, dude.
Hey, good to be here, Jeremy.
Good to have you here. We appreciate it. Apologies for the heat. We are under a major heat advisory here in Texas, as you're aware of.
This is the heat dome.
It's hot.
An
man.
advisory?
Hot
I thought this
there.
was just summer.
Yeah, well, that's what I say too. But then I see those advisory things flash across the phone or the screens.
That's because we had so many people move here to Texas.
Oh yeah.
They didn't realize it was this hot.
Yeah.
We have to warn them.
Yeah.
Don't go outside without.
I mean, I've been here 4 years, and I'm kind of used to it by now. But when you're sitting in here recording, and it's 100-something degrees outside, it gets hot. We got the fan going, but no AC in the garage.
It's fun. It feels pretty good.
A little toasty.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not bad.
Manageable for now.
It's nothing like
when we all start talking and the heat starts actually emanating from our bodies.
once you really start blowing hot air.
Yeah. Yeah, baby. Yeah, that's what she said.
Hey.
Yes. So, welcome. I know it's been a long time coming. We've been talking about having you join us for a little while. And for our regular listeners and viewers, both Luke and I actually participated in a podcast that you're doing. You're on a bit of a hiatus as you just started a new job and kind of put that on the back burner for a short period of time. But you have the Rad Dad Podcast.
Yeah.
So you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely.
I mean, it was great to be on that. So we really both enjoyed it.
I thank both of you guys for coming on. So, the idea started from during the pandemic, kind of like your podcast started. I was reading a book and I thought, man, I feel like I do a great job at raising my son, teaching him values, teaching him why we do certain things, teaching him about why we're able to do certain things because we live in America and we have freedom. So I thought to myself, I think I'm a really good dad because I surround myself with other good dads. And it just happened to be that I had several different friends that have helped me through questions I had on things to bring up with my son or what to do with him. And while I had a great dad that was involved growing up, he never taught me how to do that. And you both have kids. You didn't come home with a manual on, hey, this is how you raise your kid.
No.
This is how you keep them alive.
The hospital gave me a lot of paperwork, though, and I still haven't read it.
I'm pretty sure those were bills.
Oh,
Yeah.
Whoops.
So I had the idea of how do I pass this along to my son? To, you can't ensure that they're going to be a good father, but how do I pass down all that knowledge that I've obtained, that my friends have? And I thought, I'll write a book. Well, I have a doctorate and I'm tired. I was tired of writing, tired of reading, researching, all that stuff. So I was like, what? I'll do a podcast. I work in sales. I love to talk.
Mm-hmm.
So why not talk to other dads about what they go through, how they're dealing with stuff, especially during the pandemic, on where your kid was going to school at. If it was fully virtual, whether they were having to wear masks at school, social distancing, and all that stuff matters. And having to show your kid, because I feel like during the pandemic, you really saw what values people had on, hey, this is my right to a medical decision. And I'm going to stand by that because I live in America or I have certain religious beliefs or certain medical beliefs. And I feel like all that went out the window during the pandemic. And there was individuals like myself that said, this is a medical decision. I'm not going to get the vaccine.
Yeah.
And I applied for a vaccine exemption through my work because we had a mandate. And I was granted that exemption. And it was a weird process to go through. And I sat there thinking, I literally had to write my values down on a piece of paper and submit it to my employer and say, this is why I'm not going to get vaccinated.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy.
Super crazy. But I thought to myself, this is something my son needs. Like, hey, evaluate things and make a personal decision when it's personal to you.
Yeah.
And don't just go with the flow. Don't go with the narrative. And question everything that needs to be questioned. And how do we continue to pass that down to our kids so we can continue to live in a free world, in a free country, and continue to do that. So I met you guys through Brett and loved what you were doing with your podcast. Invited you on and found out, hey, you have been through a lot of the same stuff I have. And it dawned on me during the podcast that men just talking doesn't happen very often anymore.
No.
It used to happen in bars. It used to happen in the barber shop. That's where the whole Cheers show came from.
Oh yeah.
It was people going to the bar and talking.
Yeah.
It happened to be a lot of men. And just laying out the day on what happened.
Yeah, and apparently booze and cigarettes isn't all that good for you.
Yeah, who knew?
Yeah, who knew?
All the doctors are recommending it. Were you one of those doctors recommending it, doctor?
No, I don't make those recommendations.
No, you steer clear of that. That's smart. But yeah, COVID definitely drew a long line in that sand, made people figure out who they were. You're right.
Yeah.
And it really triggered that fight or flight reaction, right? And you got to kind of define what that feeling is. And that's probably what you're trying to tell your son. What we all try and tell our sons and daughters is, this is the feeling you're getting. This is the time to analyze. This is the time to trust your gut and learn and rely on everything that you've learned up until this point, and going off what you've learned, rather than what everybody else is telling you. Just don't jump off that cliff like the rest of the lemmings, right?
Yeah.
Please.
It also rekindled the flame of community, I feel like, because, we talk about this quite often on the show, is that, we all kind of moved to this area right around the same time, just at the front end of COVID, like most people in the area that we were living in. We were here, Luke and I were here maybe a year prior, but like a lot of the neighbors around us had just kind of started to move in within that like kind of 3 to 6 months leading up to COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was block parties and driveway drinking parties and, bonfires and, that kind of thing was the norm because you couldn't really go anywhere. Everything was closed. The bars were closed, right? The, restaurants were closed. You just couldn't do anything. And
Magic Kingdom was closed.
Yeah, right. No one could go to Disney and check out like Pedophile Central. So it was like, hey, let's, check out like
Which, by the way, wait times at Disney Magical Kingdom and all the Disney theme parks, they're like at least half of what they were a year ago.
Because nobody's going. Yeah.
And they don't want to talk about the real reason why is because they went woke, broke.
Yeah.
But they just don't want to talk about that. They just want to blame it on
well,
COVID.
People also don't want their kids to go get groomed.
DeSantis.
Well, the article I read about it too talked about how they price themselves out.
Yeah.
It's no longer
it's so expensive.
It's no longer a middle class vacation spot because people can't afford the ticket to get in. Mm-hmm. They can't afford the rides, and you need the fast pass and all the extra add-ons to actually.
Yeah, and the food is expensive and it sucks. Like it's like to take your kids like to a meal, take a family out to a meal. It's like a $300 meal, and it's dog shit. It's literally like I'd rather eat dog shit.
Really?
Probably. It's pretty bad, dude.
I haven't been to Disney in a while, so I'll just trust you.
I've never
We
been.
were there a couple years ago.
Never been.
It was like one of those things. We went in and out one day, Magic Kingdom. We had gone several years back when my 2 older kids were young. And then when we had my third, we're like, we were going to go to Universal Studios in Orlando, and like to do like a 4-day trip there for spring break a couple years back. And we decided we would just pop in and out of Magic Kingdom and just go on like the big rides like once, just so we could say, hey, he was there, he checked it out, he saw it, he took a picture with Mickey, whatever. I don't even know if we did that. And we were in and out in a day. But
every
the
time
food
you say
was
in
terrible.
and out, it makes me want a cheeseburger.
I know, right? The food was terrible. And it's been ever since I can remember, I've never had great meals there. But when I was younger and I went like with my parents, I remember having a couple of really great breakfasts and like good, like,
Sure.
buffet type meals. But the more recent couple of times I went when my kids were like really young, we took them when they were like 3 or 4 years old. It was awful, like not great food. And you're spending like a lot of money on that stuff. And it's like, you're right. They're pricing everybody out. And especially now with inflation and like your dollar doesn't go nearly as far as it used to. So.
No, and I don't remember the food the last time I was there. I was there March 2020
Okay.
in California. And my pandemic story that I tell quite a bit within our industry is I'm probably the only person to take a conference call about COVID in Cinderella's castle. I was literally in a corridor, like, what's this COVID thing? Like, what's going on? How are we reporting this? What constitutes reporting to stop loss? And I work in health insurance. So it was, how are we reporting all this? And, I was sitting there, it was raining. And then the next day, Disneyland shut down.
Oh, man.
So,
wow. You were the final day, huh?
Yeah, it was final day.
Nice.
So, we got to hang out. I have family in California. So we were there just not knowing. I mean, the whole world shut down. And, my cousins, they're there and they talked about it. They're like, the last time Disneyland shut down? I was like, no. They're like, 9/11.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, we shut down for a day.
Yeah.
Like, so we don't know how long it's going to be shut down. And I think they were shut down 9 months in California, maybe longer. So, it changed the world. It changed everything.
Yeah.
And, but I'm glad
It's coming back too, I hear.
It's coming back. So it's the whole community aspect is what I loved about the podcast, what I loved about meeting you guys through Brett, who also lives in the area. And it was, to me, I asked him, I was like, why'd y'all move to Prosper? Like you had great location, great house where you were at. And like the community, like we love the people when we met them here. And, we wanted to raise our kids in a great community that was welcoming. And, I think of it as like what everyone strived for back in the 50s.
Yeah.
And with the white picket fence, everyone getting along, having a barbecue, people coming over.
Yeah.
Your kids are playing in the streets.
Yeah, I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. They were asking like, what's it like living there? Why'd you move there? Because, I was in New Jersey for 8 years prior to this. And I, kind of explained it to him. I was like, look, when I was a kid, like, even though I grew up in the Boston area, like, suburbs of Boston, it was, you still get on your bike and ride to your friend's house in town. And like, there was no concern about like, I don't know, crime or kidnapping or any of that shit. And like in New Jersey, it really wasn't like that where we lived either, but like no one knew their neighbors. Like we didn't like have that sense of community. Like we knew our neighbors, but we didn't like hang out with our neighbors. Like they didn't have kids that were my kids' age. And it's just like, you might be able to get like 3/4 of an acre and like a, like decent house with a pool and stuff. But there's no other kids in the neighborhood and they're not like hanging out outside, riding their bikes around in the street. And like here, it's like the kids are always running around, like playing and doing their thing and riding their bikes around and going to their friend's house around the corner. And it's like, it's a safe, environment and it's very community focused. Everyone kind of looks out for one another and everyone knows each other's kids, It's kind of like what we grew up with that, and quite honestly, like what our parents probably grew up with in the 50s, or as close to it as you can get these days. And that's really the draw, It's a nice feeling to have that.
That and Lagoon and the 1,000 different electives at the high school and all the money they throw into education here. I mean, that's it. I mean, really, right? Like some of the best education that you can get.
Allegedly.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of money thrown at it. It's pretty good as far as public education is concerned. On the continuum of public education in America currently, right? It's really great. But yeah, there's definitely a bunch of slippery slopes on the continuum of public education in America as far as secondary schools are concerned, right? Like tons, right? But yeah, I mean, that's how I grew up. Tons of people all over my neighborhood. We were building bike ramps, jumping off of them, homemade firecrackers. Maybe that wasn't safe. I don't know.
Homemade firecrackers are fun.
Did you ever do that?
Cherry bombs?
I've never made a homemade firecracker.
You haven't?
No, I don't.
Oh, man. You just need a piece of PVC pipe. You glue the ends on, drill a hole in it, put a fuse in it. You fill the thing up with gunpowder, put a fuse in and just put a little hot glue around it. And
we used to make blow darts
That
out of
sounds like
PVC
a
pipe.
bomb. Not a homemade firecracker.
Well, I mean, firecrackers are kind of like miniature bombs, micro bombs.
They are.
They're micro bombs.
Yeah.
Right? And I guess
Like
once
little,
you get
mini dynamites.
a powder
Sticks of
keg,
dynamite.
then it becomes a bomb. After you exceed powder keg, I think that's when it becomes a bomb.
We should do mini blow darts with PVC pipes. We would take nails, like little nails, like the thin ones, like not like
Brad nails.
Yeah, like Brad nails. And then
Finishing nails.
And we put like a little bit of duct tape around it, like a cone,
Oh, yeah.
and we like shoot them out at each other.
Gee, you're hardcore.
PVC.
Jeez. They don't play around in Boston.
No, we
Yeah,
don't.
forget
We
about
don't. We don't.
Yeah.
We like
We
to
did
hurt
BB
each other.
gun wars. Shot BB guns at each other.
Mm-hmm.
Just give it a
Yeah, we
couple
do that
pumps,
too. Yeah.
And one of my friends got shot right here, Jeff,
Oh,
and a BB went under his eye.
that's not good.
Yeah, and it's like still in there today.
Oh, really? They couldn't get it
Yeah,
out?
he's like, here, feel it.
They just not have the means to get it out back then?
Well, it just didn't make any sense to do it, I guess.
I would have, like that, my kid, I would have gone in there with a pair of pliers, like needle nose, but like pull that shit right out.
Yeah, you would have.
Don't worry, I got it.
See, that's exactly why the kid in the Christmas story never got a BB gun. He's gonna shoot his eye out.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Well,
It
he
finally
did get
happened.
one. He did get one.
Yeah, he
And
got
then he
it.
shot it, and then he almost shot his eye out.
If he didn't have those glasses on, he would have.
I know, seriously. His glasses
Fell
protected.
into the ground.
Yeah. Great movie.
Yeah.
That's
Speaking of 1950s, that's
Seriously.
1950s, right?
50s, or was that before that? I feel like that was like in the 30s.
Oh, you're going to make me
50s. I have
check
no
the
idea.
Google machine.
Maybe I could be wrong. You could be. You're probably right.
I'm
50s,
probably
60s,
I don't know.
50s.
I don't know.
Anyway, so what are you up to these days? You're going to be on a TV program.
No, it's not a TV.
It's not a TV program.
So it's
I thought it was a reality show.
No, it's not a reality show.
That'd be cool.
40s.
It would be cool, but
But what is it? Tell us
so
about
what Conquering Kili is it's a program within the Chris Long Foundation and Waterboys org.
Yeah.
And what it is it's designed for, it started with NFL players and veterans
Okay.
doing a climb of Mount Kilimanjaro. And the Chris Long Foundation started with, like any good idea starts in a bar.
Yeah.
It was a hotel bar. And it was Chris Long. He just climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. And he ran into Joe Buck and Brad Pitt's brother, Doug.
I've never heard. I didn't even know
Doug
Brad Pitt
Pitt.
had a,
No one's
had a
heard of
brother.
Doug.
Chris Long's a beast, by the way.
He is a beast.
He's a fucking beast.
Is Doug's middle name A? Start with an A. Doug A. Pitt.
So,
one.
Chris was impressed with, the beautiful area that was in Mount Kilimanjaro, Tanzania. So he was just impressed by it. And, Joe and Doug were talking about, just some of the poverty that goes on there and the lack of access to clean water.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's kind of astounding. And when you think about it, it's now, this happened back in 2015, I believe, or 2013. And you think about it now, 2023, clean water, that's kind of a given. But in
Allegedly.
Tanzania, in Africa, it doesn't happen. And,
Treated water, let's say.
Yeah, treated water.
Treated, So
Yeah.
now you have, we talked about community to start off with. You have these communities in Africa that have zero access to water.
Yeah.
So or clean water, I should say. So how do they get that? They walk to a well or where they have access to. and it's a woman walking to get that access for their family, and it's an hour trip, hour and a half.
Each way or round trip?
I think round trip.
That's still crazy.
So it's still crazy to go get water.
Yeah.
A basic necessity.
30 minutes up,
and what
30
I would
minutes
say
back.
a basic right
Yeah.
to being a human being.
Not according to the CEO of Nestle. He would argue differently.
He wants to charge you.
He does not think that water is a basic right for human beings.
Did he say that?
He's on record as saying that.
Well, the Lorax
Several
was
years
to sell
ago,
you
actually.
air too, right? Lorax.
Well, they have
was
their
the
pure. They have their Pure Life product. You know, Nestle does their Pure Life water product.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's like spring water or whatever it is. Not even spring water. I think it's just filtered water.
I
Probably.
can't believe it's not spring water.
Probably loaded with fluoride. But yeah, exactly. But yeah, he's on record as saying that water is not a basic right for humanity. But he's part of the elite like club.
I would disagree.
But let's give them all health care
Yeah,
and
like-
universal income.
Yeah, let's fucking
not water.
let's bang them up and then let's give them some free health care and some of our
But would you
beautiful
like a cup of water?
treated water.
Yeah, so that's what started the whole Conquering Kili event
Nice.
program, whatever you want to call it. And so now they've had, I think I'll be the 8th class to go and make this trek to summit Mount Kilimanjaro and
Sweet.
raise money and to help create more wells there in the communities.
Awesome.
So they have water access to wells through deep borehole wells. It makes it a lot easier for them. They don't have to make that
Right.
hour and a half trip.
Yeah.
So they're just going to give you a shovel and you're just going to go to town or what?
No, I bet they wish that's what I would do.
There you go, John.
I'll
Get to
help them
digging.
get it started if they need to, but that's not my expertise. I'm just like, I don't know how to build a well.
We'll talk.
Do you know how to climb a mountain?
You put one foot in front of you.
Yeah, I know,
There you
but
go.
like,
There you go.
yeah, are you going to be like doing any sort of like legit rock climbing, or is it mostly just hiking up?
The terrain is ridiculous from what I've already researched.
Yeah.
And I believe there's 5 different terrains on the summit,
Yeah.
the Mount Kilimanjaro. So it starts in the bushlands, and then you go into the rainforest. And prior to even researching this, I was like, rainforest in Africa? Oh, what? So it's going to be interesting, and the amount of gear that I have to take with me on this trek is ridiculous. But
Face paint, lots of face paint.
lots of face paint. Is that
Probably.
the secret?
I don't know. I just figured rainforest, rock,
So-
Rambo style.
So it's interesting because our team has been announced, and there's a lot of veterans on the team this year, and I'm looking forward to it to being back into a hike with some of my brothers and sisters and climbing the mountain and seeing what it brings to us. And I've talked to some people that have been there. So I told you how the foundation got started with Chris Long, with Joe Buck, and Brad Pitt's brother in a bar. That's kind of how I got convinced and turned on to Conquering Kili. I was at a veteran event talking to 2 veterans that have done this before, and yes, there was some drinks involved. And I was like, that sounds like something I would do.
Mm-hmm.
Like every year, I set a goal for myself before I turn. The next year, my birthday. Last year was playing the guitar. I did that. And I thought to myself, yeah.
Did you teach yourself?
I didn't teach myself.
Or did you get lessons?
I got
and, like,
lessons.
learn
So
how?
I still am learning. I go
Yeah.
to the School of Rock in the Colony.
Nice,
So
good
shout
for
out
you.
to the School of Rock in Colony.
Sweet.
I love rock music. So it's something that I was like, hey, why not learn music that you want to play? And that you
Yeah.
love?
Definitely.
So I did that,
Heck yeah.
but I sat there researching and talking to them about their adventure and what they were doing. And I thought to myself, every year I set this goal for myself to accomplish before my birthday or for my birthday. But it's always egocentric. It's always about me. I thought, why not do something else for other people?
Yeah.
So, I was like, this is a perfect opportunity. And, applied, interviewed, and they told me, hey, are you available February 18th until like February 29th? That's when we're thinking about going. I said, yeah, that's great. They're like, what do you think? I was like, that's the day after my birthday.
Awesome.
I was like, so this lines up with me doing something for my birthday every year. That's a new goal, a new task.
And you
to
get it done
accomplish.
early on, so then you get the rest of the year to just fuck around.
Yeah, they say, hey, I accomplished that goal already.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm
Nice.
good for another year.
You're right
So-
out of the gates. Got it done. Nice.
So doing more research about water inequity and water contamination, and talking to people at the Chris Long Foundation, I have just a local story, even within my son's classroom. Like, all the kids have water bottles nowadays. And this little girl, I said this before on my podcast, but obviously we don't have the same demographics sometimes. So, on what happened to in my son's class was there was this little girl, and her water bottle broke. It was leaking. And they were trying to, repair it with some tape, and it was continuously leaking. And the substitute teacher threw it away, not knowing what was going on in this little girl's life. And that's not anything against the substitute teacher. She was just saying, or was thinking, there's this leaking water bottle, we got to throw it away.
Made an assumption.
So she threw it away.
What kind of water bottle? Any idea?
I don't know. It was probably a plastic one.
Yeah, I'm assuming. I just wasn't sure if
So the little girl starts crying, gets it out of the trash can, and still crying, and starts to tell my son and some of her other classmates, our family's really struggling right now, and it's not payday yet, and my dad, we've got bills, and so much knowledge about family finances that a 9-year-old probably shouldn't know about their family struggle. I'm not saying that's anything against her parents. She's just very aware that they didn't have the money to buy another water bottle.
Yeah.
Dad said maybe next paycheck, and my son comes home and tells me that. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
A water bottle.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I just really wanted to help her. Like, get your shoes on. We're going to Target right now.
Yeah.
He's like, what? I was like, yeah, it's right down the street. Yeah. Let's go get a water bottle. We're going to buy her
This was before Target went super woke, I'm assuming.
This was, a long time ago during the school year. So, what the point I'm trying to get through is that there are people that struggle within our own community that we don't know about. And maybe it's finances, but this happened to tie into, water access, being able to afford to have access to water because she didn't have a water bottle. Mm-hmm. And, during my interview, I asked that question. I was like, what do you do domestically? What do you do locally? I know you're tackling the water inequity and then contamination in Tanzania and in Kenya. What are you doing here? Like, well, we have a program for rural communities because they have the same issues that third world countries have. They don't have access to water or access to clean water. And we have a school program for the underserved communities that don't have water bottles or don't have water fountains in their schools. So I was like, yeah, I want to do that. I was like, I want to do everything. I was like, but let's do Conquering Kili and continue to be involved with the organization to tackle the inequity here in the U.S. And continue to do that. And hopefully we can continue to raise funds to build these wells here in the rural communities of our country.
Yeah. Yeah. Noble as hell.
Yeah. I'm actually invested in a company, Cadiz Incorporated. But they're working on using some of the rainwater that's falling out in California and piping it over to some of the larger communities because there's tons of water that's falling from the sky that they can actually shoot over there. And along the way, there are a few communities that this company actually just donates their time and money to in order to make sure that everybody in this really rural, poor community of Eastern California, because there's a lot of desert out there in California, I mean, there's a strip of just lush land along the coast, but then there's the rest of California that's just blazing hot desert, essentially. But they're out there helping those people drop a little off along the way because a lot of that water's just contaminated out there in eastern, southern California, over there, even in western Arizona, parts of Arizona. But
well,
there's
they
needs
say
everywhere.
You can't live more than 3 days without it. Was it 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food?
Yep. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
So,
depending on how much
critical, Doesn't matter.
Prep time you've been doing.
3
Putting
days.
on a few extra pounds just in case the shit hits the fan.
Get that fat burning.
I'm not fat. I'm prepared.
Yeah, still 3 weeks. Your body will burn through it in 3 weeks for sure. If you have no food at all. I'm saying no food at all. Well, you just shut down at some point. You're
telling me that some Victoria's Secret model that's scrawny as shit is going to last longer than I'm going to last when I'm 30%.
No, I'm just
body
saying
mass index
you'll
or whatever
last
the hell
a
I am.
maximum of 3 weeks. She might be dead in 7 days.
Okay. I don't know. I don't want to find out.
Yeah,
I know one thing.
Let's
I don't
hopefully
wanna
not find out.
No, not at all.
Joe Biden has his way. We're gonna find out.
Yeah, we're all gonna find out. Yeah. Well, how tall is Mount Kilimanjaro?
19,341 of elevation.
And you're a flatlander, right? Like you spent most of your time on flatland, or what? Yeah,
for sure.
So, what are you gonna do to train for this hike? Are you gonna go to higher elevation areas?
Put one foot in front of the other.
I think that's a bad strategy. I think that's a bad strategy.
But at the same time, I do have some trips planned around work where I can hike at some elevation. So the company I work for is based out of Denver. So anytime I travel there, I have to travel there for a work meeting at the end of the month. And I plan on taking my pack with me, my
Vail.
boots.
Creek
outside of Denver,
yeah.
obviously, to get some more elevation. And then I've got another trip coming up to Phoenix. So I'll climb Camelback while I'm there.
Okay, nice.
I've got a trip in September for like SoCal. So I'll, pack all my stuff up again and hike. And I've got, one of my teammates out there in the LA area. So, I've already texted with him and said, hey, let's do something while I'm out there.
Cool.
I've got a business trip coming up. He's for it. So it's just anytime I'm traveling for work, it kind of seems like it's at elevation. So take all my stuff up there and walk. And right now it's just walking for time here, making sure I'm an hour on my feet, walking around, the flatlands of Dallas.
Getting used to
Get used to just walking with a pack.
It's a totally different deal. Yeah. With the pack, that's great. But yeah, just walking.
Increasing
elevation
elevation is crazy. We just got back from Big Sky, Montana. We had a family trip planned, and we did like Ouzel Falls, which is like this big like waterfall, hiking trail. It's an easy category trail, easy to moderate. It's family oriented, but there's a lot of ups and downs, and it's not like anything where you have to like use your hands to climb anything. But you're it's a hike, and it was a good hour and 15 minutes all in. And it was, a lot of like elevation, like up and back down, then back up and a little bit level, then up. And when you're doing it and you're in the mountains and, the air is different up there, it's way different up there, and you get dehydrated faster. It's more challenging to breathe. If the pollen count's high, it makes it even harder. It's crazy. And like doing it with kids was crazy too, because they're all just like, we all have water and stuff, but they're like, my wife and I are just like humping along, they're no big deal. And then like our 2 older kids are like, okay. But my youngest one, who's 7, he's like, how much longer? How much more time we got? Like, dude, we're almost there.
Like
we're almost there. Yeah. Just come on, buddy. You're going to love it when we get there, But yeah, that hiking thing, like we like to hike as a family. Like when we go on our trips, like we like to find like hiking trails nearby. We all bring like our, water bottles and just kind of go for a walk, and spend an hour and 15 minutes just walking around as a family, just walking trails. That's good prep work. There's plenty of trails around here. There's a lot of trails. You could also head down towards like Austin, San Antonio. There's a lot of hills out there, downhill country. You could get some good hiking done down there too.
It's got shrinking glaciers on it, huh?
Yeah.
Mount Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I told you, there's 5 different climates.
That's
if I remember correctly. Just like from the base to the peak. And all the different gear that you need to make that, because obviously when you're going through the bushlands and going through the rainforest, your feet are going to get wet, so you need waterproof boots
Yeah.
that have good grip so you don't slip. I mean, a lot of the articles
Walking
I read,
sticks.
people were like, yeah, make sure you have good, solid shoes for the first 2 days because you're going to be stepping on wet stuff, wet rocks. And the last thing you want to do is twist an ankle because you didn't have proper boots to get that grip. And then now you're done. You're not going to climb the rest of the way up there because you have busted ankle.
Oh, yeah. You don't want that.
I mean, that's
then
just
Chris Long's going to have to carry your ass.
He'll hike you down the.
I'm sure with all the walking, I'll drop a little weight before I get there.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of gear, though. All those different climates, you got to prepare for all that stuff. I mean, do you know how much gear you're going to be carrying? Is there a number that you're carrying around
there's
to practice?
A whole list. Yeah. So, I mean, I'll be carrying, I have a 20-pound plate that I carry around, like the little vest.
Yeah.
So I'll carry that around.
Got one right there.
Around. Yeah, just like that, the 511 tactical one. Yeah, just like that. And it's, it's funny. I've done workouts in it, I've done Murph in it, and I always think to myself, I will never gain 20 pounds because this is what it feels like to work out, walk around with 20 pounds.
Well, you know what's crazy? It's funny you say that because I used to do CrossFit and I did Murph. And at the time I did Murph, I was like 250 and now I'm like 210. I mean, I don't do Murph anymore, but like even throwing a 20-pound weight vest on now to do it, I'd be like, no, thank you.
Toss that 20 pounds on, just
thank you.
Walking. You take it off and you're like, how would I?
Yeah, I walk my dog and I throw that thing on and I'll walk my dog for 30 minutes and I'm just like, it's hard to breathe. I'm like,
yeah.
You need a bowl of water.
Walking flat land, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, we were talking about Amazon Prime Day with Daniel earlier, and I bought a Camelback Amazon Prime Day. I think it was like $50 off. I was like, heck yeah.
Oh, like a bladder?
Yeah, like a bladder.
Yeah, you put in your backpack?
Yeah, I was like, just toss that on and get walking and I'm good. So now I can walk for a couple hours and not have to worry about carrying around a water bottle.
Well, you put ice in it, and it cools you for a while, and then it thaws.
Well, it'll go over my weight vest, so I don't think it's going to cool me down too much.
Wait, so is it a backpack or is it the bladder? Okay, it's a backpack with a bladder in it. Yeah, I thought like I have the bladders, just the actual inserts.
Yeah, no,
I have them in like my go bags. Like, I got a go bag in the house. I got a couple in my truck, my wife's car, just in case.
In case your daughter gets kidnapped, you need to go all Liam.
Well, in case an EMP hits and you need to get home, and you're hiking home, like you got a backpack with.
We have the little straws, the life straws.
Life straws, yeah, I got those in there too. I got multiple filtration systems and water carry systems in case water's critical.
Yeah,
critical.
Just need a little sand in a tube. Run it through it.
Charcoal would be nice to add to that, but yeah, if you really want to filter it. So that's crazy, man. I couldn't imagine Kilimanjaro. That's a beast of a walk.
Does everybody make it? In the past 8 years,
what's the success rate of that?
Give me that statistic, but
they didn't.
I'm sure they could.
They didn't want to scare you.
They didn't want to scare you. So I believe they have. I mean, it's a 6-7 day hike. So each day you're tackling more and more.
What do they do like day to day? So like you hike and then do they do just like a camp cookout type situation? They like light a fire and like cook some steaks or what?
At the end of the night. Yeah. You camp at the end of the night. I mean, they have a whole crew that goes with you and there's guides. So, I mean, the crazy thing is I've done some research and looked up some of the people that are guides and dude, they're like sticks.
Well, I'm sure they probably do this like,
and I'm like
every week.
You do this like every week or every other week. And like you're just used to this. And here I am having to train for it and think about it, 7 months in advance and say, hey, we're going to tackle this. And
is that guy from 14 Peaks coming?
I don't know who that is.
Have you seen that? You haven't seen that movie?
No.
14 Peaks, Nothing is Impossible. There's a Joe Rogan interview, and he is an old Nepalese foot soldier, I guess, but he did 14 Peaks.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did listen to that one.
And it's Nothing is Impossible. You should watch that. It'll get you geared up for this for sure.
14 Peaks is a movie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Yeah, like a documentary or an actual movie about this guy's life?
Actual movie about him hitting 14 peaks in like 14 days or something.
Yeah, I remember his episode on Rogan. I didn't watch it.
7 months.
Gee.
14 peaks in 7 months.
So one every other week, roughly.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I can tell
a
you
month.
this, that much mileage on his feet, he ain't selling feet pics.
Yeah, he's not a foot model.
No, he's not.
No, but he's a scrawny little dude, just like you were saying.
Well, these guys probably burn like a million calories a
Special
month.
Forces for Nepal, right?
Yes. Nepalese Special Forces, foot soldier or something. Yeah.
I mean, he's probably burning like a million calories a month doing that. So
crazy. Yeah. Like there's a whole list of snacks to bring.
yeah, I was going to ask you, like, what do you do about food? Because that would be my
Yeah.
first thing to think of. Like, oh, how am I going to eat?
Nuts, jerky, like snacks to eat on the way.
Paste.
Like the thing.
High calorie,
protein
little
paste.
gummies.
density, high calorie.
Those blocks, those Cliff blocks.
Yep.
Those little gummies. And the thing that I remember reading through when reading that was just like, you must bring all this stuff with you. It's not available to purchase in Tanzania. And I thought, well, that makes sense, but obviously someone thought they could buy it there, so they put it on the paper. And
Right.
Like
I'll just pick it up at the airport.
yeah, I'll
when
just
I
pick up
land.
jerky and
Just
nuts
get
when I
some
there.
muskrat. We'll just stop at Buc-ee's and
Yeah, they don't have a Buc-ee's
head up
there.
Kilimanjaro.
They must have an REI at the base of Kilimanjaro.
like in
I'll
Denver.
just stop in REI, just pick everything up.
Or just stop at Shields and ride the wheel and
Grab what you need.
some jerky there.
Take
love
the
that
gondola
place.
to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro.
So like high calorie dense foods that are like lightweight, easy to carry. But
Don't spoil.
Yeah, it won't spoil. But are they going to do? Is that all you eat, or are they going to do
we're
like
gonna- we're gonna
meals
eat
and
it
shit?
now. Yeah,
for you?
we're gonna have meals. So
You're going to kill stuff too and eat it?
I doubt that.
No hunting?
I don't think that's part of the package.
Okay.
That's a different package.
I don't know. I mean,
I'm
It
sure
seems-
they like, what do they helicopter drop some shit in for you to cook at the
No,
campsite?
so like I
Or
said,
they
there's,
have,
there's a team that's traveling with us.
They probably have some, like-
they travel ahead of time, set up camp for the night,
yeah,
and
load up some donkeys.
the way it sounded to me was they start cooking. So
Okay.
you have food when you get there, and you can hang out and
Okay,
have that community with the people that you're hiking.
the
with.
advanced team.
The advanced team.
Yeah.
yeah.
that's huge.
The advanced team with the full cook and
Yeah, it's
chef.
probably like 5 guys, and 3
5-star
donkeys
Michelin
with
rated
all the
chef.
gear.
That's what I was thinking. They got,
They're 2 hours ahead of us, and they start at the same time.
they got some like llamas, some pack llamas, and just like rolling up the mountain with those things.
What took you so long?
Yeah,
Yeah.
shout time.
It's going to be
ding,
interesting,
ding, ding.
man. I'm pretty jealous. I think it's going to be quite an adventure. It sounds like fun.
I plan on documenting.
I was gonna say, do you get to take pictures? They allow you to take photos and stuff.
Pictures, obviously.
Selfies.
I wouldn't say obviously. I would assume there's 0 cell service on the mountain.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, okay, everything I take, I'll have to post later or text people later because we get there a day early. Kind of get over jet lag and get there, stay in the hotel, and then the last day before we travel back to the States, we stay in a hotel as well.
Okay.
And then,
You need to get the full storage phone, though. Don't be relying on the cloud, right?
yeah.
Yeah, make sure you get you don't want them. Well,
I rely on the cloud. I'm just saying.
well, yeah, but when you take your photo, the original
Stays on the phone.
and then it uploads to the cloud
Yeah.
when you have service. So
Right. But if you run out of storage,
if you have the setting turned on, it'll automatically delete from your device once you run out of storage. So yeah, it does. It does depend on how much storage you
I've got
have.
a lot of storage on my phone.
Yeah.
Good.
How many gigs?
Good. That
How many-
makes me
how
feel a
many
lot better.
terabytes?
I'm gonna be able
You're
to
like,
sleep.
you do this awesome trip, you document it, then you got nothing on your phone.
You got like a couple of like photos of like a pack llama and that's it. Sorry.
Or you've got hey, I landed. Here's proof
Yeah,
of life. I
selfie.
landed.
I'm
That's
there.
You got a selfie with Chris Long and then that's it. Where's everything else?
It's going to be really rewarding to bring community fresh water too. I mean,
Yeah.
I assume you're going to take a drill, right? Like you take a drill, you drill down to the water table, and then it's going to come gushing out like black oil.
I think that's what they do. And I mean, I know our main job is to raise the funds for it. And I think they take care of it while we're doing our climb and all that. And I know the initial goal for the Chris Long Foundation was to drill 32 wells.
Oh, wow.
One for each NFL team. So
cool.
I think they've surpassed that goal. I know I think the number's at 500,000 people that they've provided access to water to now.
Wow.
Sorry, Baltimore Ravens. We weren't able to drill your well. Sorry. Sorry about that.
Or we don't like you, so we're not going to drill.
Or whoever it is, right? Like, here you go.
You beat us in the Super Bowl. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, throw in some extra coin, Jerry Jones, you know?
Seriously.
Hook our boy from Dallas up with a little coin.
Yeah,
help him go to Mount Kili.
Yeah, how can people donate? You have like a website?
Yeah, I'll have a link that you guys can post on here.
Awesome.
To donate. So my goal is $1 for each foot of elevation.
Okay.
So $19,341.
Cool.
So
all right,
I'll put one foot in front of the other 19,341 times.
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah.
To raise money
Hopefully your steps are a little longer than that.
Bro, have you seen my legs?
Foot to foot, like you're gonna be like, just a second, guys. I'm measuring this one out. I gotta get 19,431.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I do. I gotta get this.
What are the dangers of Kilimanjaro other than like the ankle breaking or
tigers?
like they're like.
I mean, think about the
longhorn
about the
rams.
environment of a rainforest, and there's
snakes,
there's spiders, there's nature out there.
Yeah, birds of prey.
Birds of prey.
The big stuff is
some big cats out there, and
definitely some tigers. I would imagine.
I'm sure there's some monkeys out there too,
like baboons,
Chimp King,
angry baboons.
It's
Right.
the tiny little stuff I'd be concerned about.
Now you're
like
giving me
the
more ideas of
mosquitoes.
stuff to research.
I'm just
what kind
curious.
Of animals are out
I'm
there?
serious. I want to know like what kind of animals are like. What are the dangers of Mount Kilimanjaro?
Are you going to be wearing DEET
Yeah, you're going to need some.
off?
I'm sure they'll tell us to wear some of that. I don't know. I mean, and I'm prone to getting mosquito bites as well. Living here in Texas, they love me.
Yeah.
And I've read several different things that it's blood type, it's people that emit more CO2 through their skin, so more fit people.
Temperature, body temperature. I've heard body temperature.
Body temperature.
Huh.
So,
You have to be very lucky. This is straight from climbmountkilimanjaro.com. You have to be very lucky to see much wildlife on Kilimanjaro. The more exotic fauna of East Africa does occasionally venture onto the mountain. It just doesn't happen very often. Why? Because most animals prefer to be somewhere there aren't 50,000 people marching around every year.
Sounds like a parade.
So we took over that.
Yeah.
So maybe you won't see any animals.
Maybe it's going to be more like Burning Man than anything. Yeah.
One big party. But there are blue monkeys, so I guess you'll maybe see some of those. Olive baboons. I was right, baboons. Leopards, mongooses, and servals are said to live in the mountain's forests. And then the bush pig.
What's a serval?
I'm not sure.
The bush pig.
Stand by. I'll let you know.
Bush pig. I saw a video today of 3 warthogs going at it on this leopard or this cheetah.
Is like a
serval looks like it's a big cat, wildcat. Yeah, it looks almost like a leopard. Sole member of the genus Leptilurus. 3 subspecies recognized. You know what Leptilurus is?
Leptilurus,
of course. Leptilurus.
The binomial nomenclature.
It's a solitary carnivore, active both day and night. Preys on rodents mostly, particularly Villet rats, small birds, frogs, insects, reptiles. Uses its sense of hearing to locate prey.
Okay, good. Humans not on that list.
Humans are not on the list.
That's all I need to know.
Probably not such a large. They don't look too big. Least concern. In terms of, that's conservation size. It leaps over 2 meters above the ground to land on the prey on its 4 feet and finally kills it with a bite on the neck or the head.
Wow.
Vicious.
Seems excessive for most of those animals. You're going to leap 6 feet into the air.
Seriously.
Like this little dramatic levees or whatever.
They're not that big. They're about 2
the metric system conversion.
They're about 2 feet. They're about 2 feet at the shoulder. And they weigh anywhere from 20 to 40 pounds, depending on if it's male or female. So a tiny leopard, basically, is what they are. somewhat. I don't think you got to worry about them. You could probably kick that thing with those waterproof boots and you'd be good. Just in
End up with
case
a
you
little,
need to.
a little claw on me.
Maybe at most, if that thing even wants to
Bandage
come
it
by.
up. Dude,
It's
a
not
house
coming
cat
after.
could mess me up.
It's
man.
not coming
It's
after
pissed
20.
enough.
Oh, yeah. Fucking house cats, dude. Those things are vicious.
Yeah.
House cats are.
Cats are scary.
Angry.
If they're pissed
Dude,
at
they
you,
are.
they'll mess you up.
Yeah, man.
And the crazy thing is, like, people own tigers. There's
Yeah,
more tigers
I know.
in captivity here in Texas than in the
with
whole
that?
world.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I read some crazy statistic about Texas and wildcats. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all set with
Insane.
owning any kind of feline.
Yeah, no thanks.
I'm a dog guy.
I mean, if I had a farm, having a barn cat would probably be a necessity.
Like
But,
to do micing.
yeah, I mean,
Mousing.
pretty much, yeah, you want one.
You're saying something about warthogs? Like there's 3 warthogs.
Yeah, there's 3 warthogs on this video I saw attacking this cheetah, and they killed this cheetah. They had him pinned down in the middle of the road, and these tourists were taking videos of it, right?
Hmm.
And I was just shocked to see these warthogs
Like
just killing it. Yeah.
Pumbaa from the Lion King?
Yeah, exactly,
He was
man. Like,
attacking a cheetah.
that one of them had the neck, and they're just like, beating them with their snouts and their snaggletooths or whatever, but like, it was dead.
Were they singing
killed
Hakuna
it.
Matata?
Yeah,
doing
they
that?
were.
So,
They were-
have you guys seen that Nature is Metal
Yes, I love that.
Instagram page? So, it's a great page. There was an elephant caught on video goring a rhinoceros.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, it was wild. It's super rare to see like an elephant and a rhinoceros go at it, and somebody caught on video, and this elephant got they're facing off, and then they kind of went near each other, and then the elephant just charged this thing and head butted on the ground, and then gored it with its tusk, and then the rhinoceros was able to get up and take off. Who knows if it lived or not? But I mean, you get gored by a freaking elephant, I don't think you're gonna live very long. That thing probably bled out.
No,
within a day.
one solid hit from him and it's over. Right?
Yeah, those tusks are long. But yeah, that's a badass IG page.
Yeah.
Oh, the amount of stuff I've seen on there. And it reminds you that nature's dangerous.
Oh yeah.
We're down here in the predator list as far as nature goes.
Totally.
I mean, even here in Texas with the wild hog problem that we have.
Oh yeah.
The feral hog problem. That's why people go hunting them.
Yeah.
And, that's actually on my bucket list too.
Helicopter
The
hunt.
helicopter
yeah,
hunt.
dude, we've talked about that. They're expensive though. It's thousands of
Yeah,
dollars.
it's $2,000 to do.
More than that, dude.
Is it
if
more
you
now?
Want,
Well,
if you just
ammunition
want to go
has
out for
gone
if you just want to go up for an hour and shoot a bunch of hogs, it's a couple grand. But if you want a overnight package with the boys,
Yeah,
and you
I
want
saw
to go
that.
and
That
hang
was
out and spend
it
the
was
night in a
$7,000
cabin,
each.
it's $5-6 grand a piece. Yeah, but you get a weekend and you get to go up in a couple of trips and you get to just pick off a bunch of feral hogs, which is
So I went
50
to
cal ammunition is not cheap.
well, you bring your own. You can bring your own, and you could use anything. You could use 5.56, 300 blackout. You can bring whatever you want. It's just what's going to be most.
Well, you take me up
effective.
on the helicopter to do that. I'm shooting the 50 cal.
7.62.
You have it on the helicopter. I'm fired.
Yeah.
that. I mean, 15 years ago, those were $1 a round. They got to be at least $2 a round now. 50 cal bullets.
Yeah. None of those rounds are cheap these days.
Who knows?
6.5 Creedmoor is pretty expensive.
Apparently, we're running low on ammunition.
Yeah. Well, we gave it all the Ukrainians.
That's 155 millimeter ammunition, though. I think, right?
Yeah,
goes
that's
big.
what he's talking about. We were running low on 155. I'm like, you didn't specify. Maybe you should
Yeah.
specify that. People are going to
Yeah.
take this and run with it.
Yeah. Idiot.
I don't know. The helicopter's cool. It's just kind of like a shooting gallery to me. I really enjoyed my hunt when I went feral hog hunting. I've done it a few times, right? But I really enjoyed my hunt with my boys, Brian and Greg, and a couple other dudes. But we went to Jack Fork Ranch on William Hurst's land, about 3 hours south of San Jose. It's 75,000 acres. There's wild boar everywhere. They're living off acorns and,
Whatever they eat.
barley.
They eat everything.
Yeah,
so.
everything. But it's really, really mountainous terrain, super mountainous. And I hiked 13 miles through the mountains. I brought my AR-10, right? Like my Armalite
762.
308, like
Yeah,
762, right? Like through San Francisco airport, rolled that through there. And then I took it down there and it's fully decked out, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking bringing this? With my bipod and everything, all the gear. I brought all the gear. And by the time I got there and I walked a mile, I was like, man,
This is heavy.
let's
Heavy
start throwing
shit,
this
right?
off. Everything comes off. Everything's coming off. I got about 10 pounds of mud on each boot.
AR-10s
It's muddy
are
as
heavy.
shit. Yeah, it's heavy. I wish I would have just had, just a.
How long's the barrel on it?
I think it's a 20-inch barrel,
Okay.
but it's pretty heavy.
It's
But
a 20-inch barrel's long, so it's heavy.
I think that's what it was. Maybe
Barrel's
16.
where most of the weight is. I mean,
But shot a few out there, but it was really fun going up and down, and it wore me out. And they were calling me Flatlander. The guides, they're like, "Hey, Flatlander," because I pulled my groin at like mile 2.
oh,
And right after I was the first one to shoot one, I shot it. It was like 150 feet lower on my elevation. It was probably like 600. I don't know. It was probably like 100 yards away or something. That I hit it at, and I went down in this ravine, and I was about to go back up, and I slipped, and I
It just went
yanked
out on
my
you.
groin. And I just kept going though, 11 more miles. But they were making fun of me. But I was like, man, no, I pulled my groin, but I'm actually toughening it up here and walking the rest of the way. But
Yeah.
it's fun though,
Yeah.
so much fun, so beautiful up there in the mountains. All the elevation change, it's just rad.
Yeah.
Love it.
I bet.
Well, what a lot of
do
people
that.
don't understand about the feral hog hunting too is it's necessary. They're an invasive species and they tear up the land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They destroy it. And then they just keep mating and producing more. And then they're like the babies grow super fast into like full grown like adults.
The gestation period is really short.
Yeah.
The litters are huge.
Yeah.
And, there's a whole lot of different ways that you can do it. They have these boar buster traps that you do to catch an entire sounder. It's a trap that's like
Like an octagon.
a little bit, it's bigger than this garage, right? And it's on cell phone towers. And when you get motion sensors, it shoots over to the owner of the boar buster trap, and then you push a button when you see the entire sounder or a group of wild pigs. Other name for a group of wild pigs
Inside
is
the
a sounder.
target.
And then you drop it, and it catches them all. And then they just go hog wild around there. It's like a carnival on speed. They're
Yeah.
just circling this thing like a merry-go-round on speed. Yeah, they're going nuts. But man, one of those times, because my buddy has one, and this one pig, because basically there's 2 rings, one ring and then another smaller ring. So you kind of got to like climb in to climb out, and it's like 5 feet tall, the tallest. But these pigs are so smart that one of them crawled, out of this thing like they're rock climbing Mount Kilimanjaro or something,
Spider-Man.
and jumped out of the thing. It jumped out of the cage, got out.
Technically, that would be spider pig.
Spider pig,
yeah, spider hog.
pig. Yeah,
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I know. They're so smart.
And then what do you
So
do once
smart.
they're in the trap? You just like sit there and pick them all off and then
Yeah.
open the trap and then.
Well, you can either kill them
Haul 'em
all,
off.
or you can load them up on a trailer and you can take them to like hog hunting leases where they have it all fenced off and they'll charge people to come kill them.
Some landowners will let you do it for free.
No, for
you
sure.
know? They'll just be like, hey, I got a problem. Like anyone who wants to come on the land, like you have the whole property for the weekend. You can come shoot as many as you want. No charge.
Oh, I don't doubt that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
Yeah.
Free labor.
I got 350. I count 350 on my property. I just like, come on out. And you come on out. You get the whole weekend. I'm gone for the weekend. Just come out here and pick off whatever.
That's
you
what
want.
I call a win-win-win.
Yeah. Seriously.
Synergy.
Yeah.
Good synergy.
For real. We should go do that. We should go shoot some hogs.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
I'm down for a good time.
Yeah. Go for fun.
Yeah. We gotta find a ranch that has a hog problem and wants us to kill them for free.
Let's wait for it to cool down a little bit.
Seriously, dude.
Yeah. I mean, right now is definitely not the time for it, but, you'll get us the website and
I'll
we'll
get
get
your
that
website.
posted
I've got my
for
profile
donations.
up on the
Awesome.
waterboys.org, and there's a donation link on there. So
Cool.
any donation helps. It'll get me there. The other thing is I've got to fund all this stuff myself too, for gear and things like that.
Okay.
So I'm looking for sponsors
Oh, nice.
to sponsor gear as well. So if you know anybody at Shields or Academy, any of the outdoor stores, they want to sponsor a vet to climb Mount Kilimanjaro for a great cause, hit me up.
I guarantee they do. I guarantee they do.
Yeah, you should call. Like, I would just call Shields and like ask to talk to the manager.
That was on the plan, is to call him and talk to him and say, hey, here's a list.
They have
of
a
gear that I
promotions
need.
manager, maybe something like that. Yeah.
Here's what I'm doing. I'm local to Dallas. I'll promote the store. I'll document everything.
Heck yeah.
And I'll wear a Shields hat.
What you got to
I'll be
do,
sponsored by Shields.
Yeah, totally.
you go into Shields, you talk to each individual rep about Mount Kili and waterboys.org, right? You have a conversation about it. Plant seeds all throughout the store, all the different reps. And then you come in hot and you hit that promotions manager, because all those employees are going to be talking about it, and those are your hype boys. You got to get it all hyped up. Then promotion manager hears about it and he's like, when am I going to get in contact with one of these Mount Kili guys, one of these Mount Kilimanjaro guys, and then just freaking like amigos falling from the sky, like it just falls in his lap and you hit him up.
I mean, what I would love to happen is for them to just sponsor the whole thing for all my teammates and say, hey, we'll cover everyone's gear.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
I think they do.
I mean, ultimately, it's a tax write-off. I mean,
it's a write-off.
One, it's the right thing to do. But
Well,
two,
it's also it's marketing.
It's marketing
for them.
too.
You know what I mean? It's free marketing. So
Yeah, if Chris and Chris and Doug Pitt.
I looked it up. It's Mitchell. His middle name is Mitchell. Doug Mitchell.
You literally looked up his
Fine.
middle name.
Fine.
Doug Pitt.
Pitt. Okay.
Doug Pitt.
Doug Pitt.
Doug Pitt.
So, yeah.
And Brad.
Hit them all up and see if that's something they're down with. I'm sure.
Joe Buck.
Right.
Does Joe Buck hike with you guys or?
In a suit?
And there's no guarantee that Chris is going to be there either.
Oh,
Every
okay.
year they take this group up. It's usually about 12 people.
Does Chris go multiple times? Like he's done it
He has,
before,
yeah.
so he's gone. He's
multiple
probably hiked
times,
it a few
yeah.
times. I'm guessing. Holy crap, that'd be cool if he was there.
I mean, I think with him being retired now from the NFL,
He's got
he's
more
got the
time on
time
his
to do
hands.
it.
Yeah.
But it's, looking up the former athletes or some current athletes that have done it. Like Rob Ninkovich has done it from the Patriots.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Myles Garrett has done it.
Myles Garrett.
Yeah, and then
I have a hot head.
Cool.
Not Travis Kelce, but his brother from the Eagles.
Oh yeah,
He's done it. David Voboro's done it.
Okay.
He's local here to Dallas, but he played for the Rams. He was
All right.
quote unquote Mr. Irrelevant,
Okay.
but one of the most awesome people that I've ever met. He runs Adaptive Training Foundation here in Carrollton, and they're designed to help adaptive athletes work through their injuries. And
Cool.
I used to work out in the gym, so I've seen him, I got to know him, but the athletes that I have the most respect for are those adaptive athletes that are working through a physical and even mental obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
And to see people and meet people that have said, the doctors told me I would never walk again.
Yeah.
And they go in and do the program with DV, and there they are walking again.
Well, what's this? What was this program you were involved in? I remember I was reading your bio when you were at the University of Arkansas, Veterans Upward Bound.
Yeah, so I was director of Veterans Upward Bound at University of Arkansas, and it was designed to help veterans transition from the military to college. And a lot of the issues that veterans have when they're making that transition is they haven't been in a classroom for 4 to upwards of 20 years. So it's hard for them to make that transition from the military, knowing what to do every day, knowing what your goal is, accomplishing that, to you have full autonomy at a university. You don't have to go to school. it's paid for too. So you just show up, and they have no idea how to study. They had no idea. Some of them didn't know how to get their books.
Yeah.
That way they don't ship us the books. Like, no, you have to go to the bookstore and order them, pick them up. And then some just needed some remedial work to get in. You know, like I said, anywhere from 4 years to 20 years since they've been in a classroom.
Yeah.
And they didn't know that they didn't have the SAT score to get in, or they needed another score to get in. So we'd help them with those remedial tests as well to get in, and ultimately help guide them through the VA system as well for their education on how to apply for the GI Bill.
Yeah.
It's not just you automatically get awarded it when you get out of the military. You have to go through a process, and it's anyone that has filed and applied for anything at the VA understands the headache that you go through on, if you try to get a VA rating, it's difficult. It could take years. It took me years to get a rating with the VA.
The head of our video production team, Daniel, he helps veterans do that currently.
I remember talking to Daniel about
DD
that as well.
214s or something?
214.
214, yeah. I got it down.
Yeah, it's
Daniel Ornelas.
It's a horrible process. I always say it's a horrible process, but it's the best example of how the government doesn't function the way it's supposed to function.
Yeah.
Is talk to any veteran that has access to the VA, and they will tell you it's the most horrible system they've ever dealt with from a healthcare standpoint. And that's coming from someone who works in the U.S. healthcare industry, and I can tell you that our system is broken, and the fact that this is worse. And I would argue it's supposed to be the best because of the people that they serve.
Yeah.
So if there's anyone that used to say gets full access and should have top of the line VIP treatment, it's disabled veterans.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't happen at VAs. And I've had my own arguments with
It's awful.
providers at the VA. It's the same process on the education side, trying to get your GI Bill that you qualify for it. They want proof of this and proof of that, and then trying to connect a government entity with a school and making sure the payments are made, and then stipends are sent out as well for their housing stipend that they receive as well. So it's just it's convoluted, and it shouldn't be. So
well, it's just
that's
like
what I did at University of Arkansas.
On upward, yeah. So it's just like climbing Mount Kili. Right, like you're gonna need a guide. You're gonna need somebody to train you up, and that's what your boy's doing down at Carrollton. That's what you're doing at the University of Arkansas, right? Like people need help navigating themselves through areas that they're not comfortable, not accustomed to doing, right, or haven't been doing for a long time. It's not like riding a bike, right? You forget, so you gotta get reacclimated. So that's awesome that you're able to help people do that. God knows people have helped me, scratching some backs, maybe it'll come back and get your back scratched too. So,
that's life.
Yeah.
That's what we talked about at the beginning. That's community. It's how I got my job with my new company. As I was in a situation that was unfortunate to be in, and a friend actually made a post on LinkedIn, and someone from my current company reached out and said, "I didn't know you were looking for a job. We would love to have you. Would you be interested in doing this?" Yeah, let's talk about it.
How much does it pay?
It's in the same industry. It's aligned with my views of our industry and how to make it better. Right. And it's an awesome company. And we get 3 Fridays off during the summer.
That's great.
I call them self-care Fridays. They call them summer Fridays. I'm like, they know that you should spend some extra time with your family in the summer, especially if you have kids and you're at home. So we got July 7th off, so didn't work a lot last week.
Nice.
4th of July, 7th off. And then I get the 21st off, which is my son's birthday. So I get to spend all day with him.
Your son's birthday is the 21st?
21st, yeah.
So is mine. My youngest, yeah. Well, how old is it going to be?
He's going to be 10.
8.
I swear we just brought him home yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know where 10 years went by.
They grow up so fast.
Oh, the amount of stuff he says, too. I just look at him and tell him, get off of YouTube. Please, just get off of YouTube.
You are what you eat.
I'm like, go play outside.
Yeah.
It's too hot. I was like, I grew up in this heat, and I'm all right.
Seriously.
I'm still alive.
Yeah. It's yeah.
Soft.
We got YouTube on lockdown here. There's not a lot on it.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
it's a battle. It's a constant battle.
Yeah. Well, they're all their friends. If their friends are on it, then they want to be on it. And they're always chirping about it.
I'll let him play video games with friends on. Like he'll play Roblox and some other games that I don't remember the name of, but he always likes to venture off onto YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, can we just delete that off of his iPad, please?
You can. It's very easy.
But can you delete it to where he can't re-download it?
Yeah, because
Sounds
you
like
just
you
set
need
up,
trained up.
You set up your person. So what you do is you set up, for anyone who needs help with this, I'm happy to help. You set up your their app store access on the family account so that they have to ask permission on every app they want to download, and then you can decline or approve it.
His mom does that.
Oh, see, so then that's a different.
But she's on board with it. She knows he spends too
So
much
then
time
you
on
can
it.
delete it,
Yeah.
and then you can set up the permission so that if he tries to re-download it, you can decline it and not allow him to download the app. So they have to ask permission, and then you just deny the permission to download.
I've talked to other parents about it too, and this is how I tell people I know marketing toward children still works because the number one thing that my son asks for right now is Prime.
Oh yeah, we were just
Can I get
talking
some
about
Prime,
this.
Dad? I'm like, what?
Stay away from Prime Energy though, because it's got sucralose, like high caffeine content, which is really bad for kids.
That's the
and
issue
it can
right
mess
now.
up their hearts and their heads.
That's what I think. It's actually Chuck Schumer that has launched the investigation into it and said, and what he was saying is they don't know the difference between
200
the hydration.
milligrams.
Yeah, they're like the kids don't know the difference between the hydration drink and the energy drink. They just see Prime, so they buy it.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Maybe it should come with a warning on there. Not for
Banned
kids.
in
Who knows?
Australia.
It's banned in Australia.
The energy drink, yeah.
Oh.
200 milligrams. So it's double the caffeine. It's the same amount of caffeine as 2 Red Bulls. And it has sucralose in it, which is linked to cancer. And I actually think that I want to say, and I'm not 100% on this, but I'm pretty sure that their hydration drink or their electrolyte drink also has sucralose in it, but I'm not certain.
That I don't know. All I said in response to after looking up what Prime hydration is, I looked at him. I was like, this is just a relaunch of Body Armor, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, the main ingredient is coconut water.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got some flavoring in it. I was like, but you have Logan Paul and KSI just promoting the crap out of it on YouTube.
Yep.
And
It's his company,
that's what you
Logan
see.
Paul, right?
Yeah, it is his company.
Well, and now Logan Paul's on WWE, and so like my kids watched wrestling, the World Wrestling Entertainment, and so they're like, Logan Paul's like always on, like doing his promos and doing his shit, and so he becomes even more popular. And then they look Logan Paul up online, and there he is promoting
Here's
Prime.
my Prime.
Yeah.
Drink it.
Yeah.
And you can't find it anywhere. Like it's ridiculous. It's sold out all the time.
It's causing kids to have heart attacks.
Oh,
The energy drink, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Well, that's way too much caffeine.
Well, because kids that
The American Pediatric Association says anybody under 12 years old should have 0 grams of caffeine. And if you're over 12 but under 18, you should keep it to 100 or less.
Yeah, your body isn't until it's fully developed. In theory, most people over the age of 18, but some a little sooner than others, obviously. But generally speaking, 18 or over, your heart at that point is pretty much fully developed. Your brain, for the most part, is fully developed in terms of like its function. The caffeine content of some of these energy drinks is so astronomically high compared to what youth's body can actually handle.
What I don't understand about it, because I've seen it happen with high school age kids. They'll go to the local convenience store and purchase it. I didn't touch caffeine until I was in college, and that was coffee.
Yeah.
It was so I could study. Now,
Yeah.
But I see all these kids now, and I'm thinking, you have everything in your body already to function properly.
I didn't even drink that.
To be aware, to exercise, to recover, because you're young. You just need to sleep more and eat better.
Yeah.
Your ATP.
You'll have there you go. Look, you're just full of knowledge, aren't you?
They can take
He is.
the younger they
It's
are.
insane. He's full of something.
ATP.
They can transfer sucralose and sugars and carbohydrates into energy more readily when you're a kid, right? Like, and produce more
Yes,
ATP.
yeah. Which is what your body needs to function. What your
Stone Temple
muscles need
Pilots
to have.
No.
It's STP, not ATP.
That's right. That's right. Viscosity breakdown.
Yeah. So I mean, and the other day, gosh, I remember picking him up from summer camp, and he's like, "There's something crazy I want to try." Like, what? He goes, "Well, I know we don't ever go to McDonald's." And I was like, "Oh, great." And he goes, "What? Do you know what I'm going to say?" I was like, "Yes." He goes, "What?" I was like, "You want to try the Grimace shake, don't you?" He goes, "Yes." "How'd you know?" I was like, "It's all over social media, man." I was like, and I read articles about stuff. I was like, so it's the latest gimmick on social media, the Grimace challenge. And kids are drinking it, pouring it on themselves, pouring it on their friends. And it's this bright purple milkshake.
Because I study mainstream media, and I know you're the chump, son. You're getting played. You're getting played.
Like, the funniest thing to me is I saw a meme on it on social media too, and there was Ronald McDonald milking Grimace to make the milkshake.
Yeah, that's
Well, I heard Grimace was
perfect.
supposed to be like this evil character when they dreamed him up. I heard this whole conspiracy theory on Grimace.
like the Hamburglar.
Not the guy that was
Yeah.
stealing everything.
opted-
He wasn't the villain.
He wasn't the
opted
villain.
to make the Hamburglar the villain instead.
Yeah, like you should look it up. It was crazy. I don't know. I saw it and I was like, "Pfft, I don't know if this is real, and I don't care. Click.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember playing on the playground at McDonald's as a kid?
Yeah.
This is what I do love social media for, because I have a good sense of humor, a dark sense of humor, and it's funny.
You need one to survive in this world.
You do,
For sure.
and it was.
Have you seen our
It was-
president?
Do you remember the big hamburger face that you could play in that was made out of solid stainless
yeah.
steel?
Yeah, with the
And
bars that you could
with
go
the
up in
bars,
and look
yes.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the caption on the meme said, If you have been harmed by this hamburger, you're entitled to compensation. I was like, yes, when it gets hot in Texas, that thing would burn the crap out of you.
Like these stainless steel slides they got everywhere.
Yeah.
These kids are like going on them, and I'm like, they have to like pour water on them to cool them off to go down.
Are they
these
putting those
slides.
up now still?
Well,
I remember those as a kid.
Well, at the lagoon, when they first put the slides up, they were blazing hot. I don't know if they were steel, but they were even plastic ones get
You mean
super hot.
someone should have rated it for Texas?
When the sun.
Well,
when
they
the
bought,
sun
what they
is-
did was they bought like this really nice, either Norwegian or Denmark or Sweden, one of these Norse countries, like make these really authentic playground equipment. And the playground equipment is awesome, right?
From
At the lagoon.
IKEA?
It's really cool. Yeah, like IKEA playground. Exactly. It takes forever to put together, but once you get it together,
Yeah, it's great.
fucking amazing.
and it'll last forever.
But the slides are made of metal. And that was the one kind of like pitfall of the.
Dude, like
Texas
kids are
heat,
burning
metal
their
slide.
freaking asses on that.
I mean,
thing.
you fly in the
That's-
winter, but
Yeah.
The lawsuit waiting to
Cook.
happen.
Yeah. Blisters.
yeah, in the sun.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, man. Thank
No,
you
thanks for
so
having me.
much.
I
This is,
appreciate
it was a
it.
long time coming, and like I said, I know we've been talking about it for a while. So glad we could finally get together. Sorry about the heat.
I can't wait till we have you back on after you hike this thing.
Yeah,
You're gonna
that's
be
gonna
like
be
40
great.
pounds lighter. We're gonna be like, who are you, stick man?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a pet blue monkey. She's gonna come back
And a
with me.
serval.
Yeah, baboon.
Like,
Get that serval back here. I want to see one of those things live.
Are you listening? Damn.
All right, dudes and dudettes, that's a wrap for this episode of Dudes Talking Freedom.
Yeah.
Do us a favor, smash those like, subscribe, follow, share buttons, and help us spread the freedom.
Yeah.
Special shout out goes out to our dude, Dr. Jonathan Lopez from the Rad Dad Podcast, for joining us in studio tonight. Please consider offering a donation to his Climbing Mount Kili campaign. Check out the show notes for details. Loved having you on, man. Thanks again. For DTF, this is Jeremy,
This is Luke.
and we'll see you next time.